Hello, everyone. I'm Larry Ridley. You're tuned into the NFL on EA Sports. This is a team that comes into the game wishing there was more on the line, but the reality is they're just playing out the string at this point. Still, despite their disappointing season, you can be sure they'll be giving it their all here. It's the Seahawks going up against the Vikings.
All right, Larry, it's one of the new jewels of the NFL, no doubt, as you get a look inside U.S. Bank Stadium here in Minneapolis. The scene a few moments ago, here it is. It's unlike any other in sport as both teams made their way out of the tunnel. These folks are fired up as their guys are ready to do battle between the Seattle Seahawks and the Minnesota Vikings. Hi again, everyone. Brandon Gaudin alongside Charles Davis. And Charles, you look at this Vikings ball club. They come into this one fresh off a victory that finally snapped a 6-game losing streak.
And there's nothing like that win that makes everyone happier in the locker room, better on the practice field, and they usually play a whole lot better that next game out as well.
Meanwhile, for our visitors, the Seahawks, it's been perfection so far. They come in here unbeaten at 14-0.
And just 2 wins away from doing something only 2 teams have ever done. But the most important thing for them now is to make it to the postseason in one piece.
And nice work on the return as they'll start their drive just past the 30-yard line. So out come the Seahawks now for their first possession. They'll be led out by their 5'11" quarterback from Wisconsin by way of NC State, and that's Russell Wilson.
And he ought to have a lot of pep in his step after last week's performance because he did exactly as you want him to play if you're a coach. 3 touchdown passes, 0 interceptions, which usually means you're making a lot of right decisions out there.
And got him to win. On the carry, here's Marshawn Lynch. And he'll be tackled just past the 35 at the 36. The numbers for Marshawn a week ago. 3 touchdowns on the ground, and then, Charles, he threw one in through the air for good measure.
Yeah, you know you have to account for him in all situations. I mean, we know he can run the heck out of the football. You just noted what he did. But how about him being able to get out of the backfield, catch it, and get into the end zone as well?
Another good run there for a guy who, remember, on Wednesday was named NFC Offensive Player of the Week for what he did a week ago.
Yeah, and you know it takes some solid runs and some extra special ones in order to win that type of an award. I think he's locked in and wants to get it done a second time.
They'll run again with Lynch. It'll only be a gain of a yard, and it sets up a 3rd down and 4 now.
I once had a defensive player in the NFL tell me, if I beat and dominate the guy across from me, I'm helping my team. Well, winning one-on-one battles is always a part of the game, but when you have good team defense, as we just saw there, one broken tackle, but he didn't get away because the rest of the guys arrived to put him on the ground.
And he finds Barnage. He's got it. And he's going to have a 1st down as he's brought down at the 44-yard line. Call it a gain of 7, and it gets him a new set of downs. I think defensively you're okay with that. Here in the first quarter, he's going to get some catches, but they rallied to him quickly.
And that's what you count on, and I like what you just said. First quarter, can you do it all game long? They catch it, you tackle them, they go down on the spot. Because when you're able to do that, and you don't give up big chunks of yardage after the catch, now you put the offense in a position where every series they have to work hard to pick up 1st downs, and you tend to stall them out when you do that.
On 1st and 10, it's Wilson. And Graham's got it over the middle. And they're able to get this one down to the 25. Chewing up big yardage. Another nice gain there. This one goes for 20.
I do believe we'll see a little bit more of this as this game progresses, because when you can have that type of a gain in the middle of the defense, it hurts them in so many ways, because most teams like to be strong down the middle. And if you can sting them there, that'll open things up for you on the outside as well.
That's where their big tight end, is so good. That middle third, the seam routes, the in routes. Yeah, you're right. Probably see more of that.
Yeah, it takes a lot of courage and fortitude to go in the middle as well. And he's got it.
7 yards there on the 1st down screen play. I don't think it's a surprise they're throwing the football early. We expected that. They told us they were going to come out firing, but 4 for 4 on the opening drive. They like that.
They don't just like it. They love it, because now everyone gets locked in. Your confidence jumps up. Everyone's easy about what they're doing out there. And by the way, they're looking at the sideline thinking to themselves and expressing, let's keep throwing it. We're doing pretty well.
Seahawk first down. Wilson to his big target, Graham.
Well, I know from past experience, before you actually play a game, you visualize what's going to happen. And I don't know anyone who doesn't visualize themselves being in the center of what's going on. That's 3 catches for him here in the early going. He's got to like the way this is started.
Absolutely. 3 catches on any drive is good. Opening drive, that's a tone setter. And he'll get about 3 just outside the 10, stopped at the 11. And the 8th play on this drive coming up. They'll keep pounding here with Lynch. And this play gets blown up. They'll lose yardage. Back at the 17. It goes as a loss of 6. And now 3rd down.
Count me as a little bit surprised by what we just saw there, because this has been a pretty long drive, and normally you think that wears down a defense. In this case, looked like the offensive line let it.
He's going to be sacked back at the 23-yard line. Emerson Griffin in there to get him, and that's sack number 8 for him on the year. You know, last week it was unbelievable how many times they were in the backfield. They had 7 sacks. Whatever they had for pregame meal last week, maybe they had it again.
I think they're going to continue to repeat it if they keep this.
Alongside my broadcast partner, Charles Davis, Brandon Gaudin hits the Seahawks with a football to begin quarter number 2. They are, however, facing a 4th down situation. And Walsh able to convert it as his kick is good. And the Seahawks grab a 3-0 lead. And that field goal caps an 11-play drive.
It's a lot of offense to run to only get 3 points, but they'll take them. Anytime you can put anything on the board, you run to your sideline somewhat happy.
And he'll take it up past the 25 to the 26-yard line. Bradford on first down. Throw left side on target to Thielen. And they'll bring him down at the 27-yard line. Just a yard on the catch there. It'll be 2nd and 9.
The goal of a wide receiver screen is get enough blockers in front to create a wall and let him pick his spot to run the football. How about the defense there, swarming to it and not allowing that to happen? Did not let him get downfield.
Second down, Bradford. And he's got the hook up here. It's Kyle Rudolph. And he'll be brought down right around the 37. Bradford finding Rudolph there for a Viking first.
Many different ways to create space, but on that play, he did it with that big, wide body of his. Didn't get a whole lot of yardage on the play, but it did what it was supposed to. Pick up a first down.
First down, here's the run with Cook. And he'll be brought down just shy of the 45. It's a 7-yard carry to set them up with a 2nd and 3.
Well, no matter how they phrase it, staying on schedule, staying ahead of the sticks, whatever you want to call it, 7 yards on first down, that fits the bill.
On second down, Cook. They find some open field here. And he's taken down, but not before he gets this into enemy territory across the 40. That's good for 21 yards and a first down.
Good, strong, explosive run that started inside, which means you've got to control those defensive linemen, the defensive tackles, the nose guards. Those guys have to be controlled. How about the offensive line, the job they just did?
Yeah, key that A-gap usually on those runs, right?
That's where it all starts, because everyone wants to kind of control.
Looking for Diggs, and it's intercepted. Picked off near the 26. And he's got daylight. It's a foot race. And he will take this one home. It's a touchdown. And remember, this is the #1 defense in the National Football League. There's a good example of why.
Shows that they set an aggressive tone, not just stopping the run, not just getting after the quarterback, but the ball's in the air. They treat it like they're the receivers, and they went after that one and took it all the way.
Blair Walsh on to attempt the extra point. It's up and good, and that'll increase their lead to 10-zip. So they'll get another shot on offense following that pick six, and now the kick is away. This is taken at his 4. And he'll take it past the 25 and up to the 28-yard line. Now the Minnesota offense set to take over again. So, Charles, the season winding down, the playoffs obviously not in their future. As they look ahead to the offseason, what spots do they maybe need to fill?
Well, I think that they like the guy who's calling the plays and throwing the ball. I think that he's a pretty good player. Needs some help, I think, on the perimeter, though. Help him out with receivers, because I think if he gets an upgrade there, his play gets that much better, too.
So they took a shot on first down but couldn't connect.
Well, I guess that answers the question whether or not they want him throwing it again right away after throwing the pick six on the previous drive.
Yeah, not something conservative or underneath. Pretty big shot right there.
Get him right back in the saddle and say, go ahead and sling it, big guy.
They'll run it now out of the gun. And he is going to be knocked flat on his back. Oh, a big hit right at the line of scrimmage. No gain on the play as we have reached the 2-minute warning. 2 minutes to go here in the first half. More from Minneapolis after this. On third down, Bradford. Now he'll let it go deep right side. And that's caught inside the 30. Touchdown, Vikings. Sixth touchdown of the season. And the Vikings are able to make this a close game again. And correct me if I'm wrong, that was just a simple fly route, wasn't it?
No, there's nothing to correct at all. You got it down pat. And I just remember as a player, when I'd be in practice sessions, and I'd hear 9 from the receiver. And he just kept going all the way into the end zone for the touchdown.
Out of the field. They're up, but they're looking to put a drive in the end zone.
Oh, I agree with you totally. No one goes out on the field and says, all right, let's just settle for 3, except in certain situations, trying to ice a game, that sort of deal. Most of the time, it's end zone, and that's what you're thinking, and I believe that's exactly what they're thinking as they begin this one.
Yeah, no quarterback ever goes out there saying, hey, let's get 3, right?
Not one that I've ever met.
Give him 30 yards there. They go play action here on first down. It's caught outright by Graham. And he'll be out of bounds, able to take this one down to the 20-yard line. He got 29 yards that time.
There are so many things to watch for when you play defense. And reading your keys, you always hear about that, and having your eyes in the right place. Sometimes your eyes can fool you. How about that play action there? And it sprang the big guy, didn't it?
Able to dump it over the top to him. And this one's incomplete.
The positioning here is key. As a defensive back, you're taught 99% of the time to make a play on the football. But in this case, making a play on the man was all the difference. That's what forced the incompletion.
Looks like the defense in press coverage here. Second and 10. It's Wilson again. End zone caught. Touchdown, Seattle. Tyler Lockett, his 17th touchdown now on the season. And the Seahawks find a way to stretch their lead. And the defensive there, that was a battle. He just made a really nice play.
A really nice play, making sure his body position was correct. And how about the throw? Zipped it in there.
And it results in the touchdown. Set now to kick this one away, and off it goes. This is fielded a couple yards deep. They'll bring it back to just about the 25. Call it the 24-yard line. And the Vikings now heading onto the field. I guess they have to feel a little gratified to at least get on the board last time, but still work to do.
No doubt about it. I wonder now if they're going to try to increase the urgency a little bit, maybe pump up the pace, maybe go 2 minutes.
Into double coverage, and it's intercepted. Picked off by the great one, Darrelle Revis. And he will take this one home. It's a touchdown. Well, we know this defense has athleticism. Spots like that prove us right.
I love the way that you spotlighted the athleticism because you and I both know the best athletes on the field, they play on defense.
Oh, I don't know. I was a kicker. You got to remember that now.
Come on, come on.
Fine. Extra point try now for Walsh. And that'll make this a 3-score game as the lead moves to 17. So they throw the pick six. They'll get another shot at it now as this one's in the air. This is fielded at the goal line. And he'll get across the 20 before he's brought down at about the 23-yard line. And now out comes Minnesota. And what do you think goes on here in this situation? If you got the football, you're trailing, you're back in your own territory with just a little time. Do you try something?
You're thinking about jump-starting your team, right? You just mentioned it. They're down. They're trying to get back into the game. But you got to figure, if something goes wrong, you may have put yourself in a spot where you may not be able to come back in the second half. Managing risk, this is a big decision here.
Now a second down throw for Bradford. He'll find Thielen, work in the middle. And able to get this one across the 45 before he's brought down. Now the Vikings will use the second of their timeouts as they'll stop it with just over 40 seconds to go in the first half. Bradford now to throw on first down. Over the middle here to Rudolph. And he'll be brought down at the 48-yard line. 5 yards on the catch there, brings up second down. To the air again with Bradford. Throwing for his running back, and he's got him complete. And he'll get it inside the 40 to the 39. They get 9 out of that one, and as a result, the drive continues. Well, this is how you shake the thoughts of that interception on the last drive. You come out and start this one 4 for 4.
And watching him throw it around with that type of confidence reminds me of a guy I played with way back when who told me, I don't care if I throw 10 interceptions in a row. I'm going to stay confident, keep flinging it. I just figured there's something wrong with the football.
So on second down, the field goal unit is on here as they try to get 3 before half. From the left hash, this will be a 52-yard attempt. And Lutz puts this one through. And that will close the gap down to 14. So a field goal here, they're still down, but they put a dent into that lead before the break.
And that's got to feel good because now they've seen that they can put some more points on the board, and that gives them a whole second half to get back to where they want to be, and that's in the lead.
So we've come upon halftime. Happy holidays, Larry. Your gift? Take the halftime show off, partner. We've got some football to get to. This fielded a few yards into the end zone. And a couple yards deep, he'll go to a knee. He won't return it. And they'll take it out to the 25. Out come the Vikings. They'll have it first on offense as we begin the third. They have the ball here for the inaugural drive of the second half. Pretty big deficit, though. We'll see what adjustments were made in that locker room.
And I never want to make something more important than it actually is, right? I don't want to create more hype than what is there.
But this is going to do that?
I'm doing it, though. This is a really important drive. And we often talk about teams scripting plays to start a game. A lot of them script to start the second half, too. And they're scripting something that they expect to get them into the end zone and back into this game.
We'll see if that script is a good one for them. Bradford. It's complete to Laquan Treadwell. And he gets this one to midfield before he's brought down. A good gain of 14 there, and it moves the chains.
In recent years, the slot receivers really gained stature in the NFL because they can do so many things. Yes, they can line up wide like your normal wide receiver, but to have that kind of courage and toughness to run routes in the middle of the field and become dependable targets for their quarterbacks and move the sticks, those guys are worth their weight in gold.
Gonna let it fly for Rudolph. And that one falls incomplete. Looked like he might have had position there, but he couldn't hold on at second down. It's been this way most of the afternoon, hasn't it? This secondary, it really put this receiving core on lockdown.
Listen, they've worked together like a basketball team that's playing excellent defense. Great communication, doesn't matter whether it's man or zone. And especially against deep balls, as we saw there, they're not giving up anything to them.
So a nice job to break the one tackle, but not much daylight after that as he's brought down. 1 yard, the official pickup there, so it's going to set up 3rd and 9.
I'd say they've got to find a way to get him going. He's such a big part of their offense. I wonder if they might throw it a little and come back to the run.
Anything, because you're right. He's pretty much been completely neutralized. And he's out of bounds as he gets this down to the 45. Call it a 3-yard gain, and it'll be 4th down.
Was that a receiver? Yeah, actually it was. It was a running back who was a receiver on the play. Ike's been spending time in the receiver drills getting his feet down.
Well, those guys out of the backfield, they got to be good, agile with their feet. He showed the agility there with a toe tap.
No doubt about it. It's like he'd run to ballet school. Got the toes down and stayed in bounds.
Now we'll see what this Seahawks offense has in store with their first possession of the second half. This is sort of what you would call a put-away drive, isn't it? How do they score here, especially a touchdown? It's almost out of reach.
It certainly feels that way, and I think that they're going to call their plays accordingly because what you really want to do, even though you know the scoreboard is still up there and the game's going to go on, you think you can take the spirit away from another team. That their drive and will to come back and win can be taken with another score right here.
It's still third quarter, but you just get that feel.
Yeah, they're teetering right there on the brink, aren't they?
On second down, here's Wilson. He's going to float this one. He's got a man complete. The 20, 10, and all the way in. Touchdown, Seattle. Doug Baldwin, 77 yards. And the Seahawks add on to their lead. Always important to get the first score of the second half. Now you start to pull away a little bit and get some breathing room going.
And now we find out about the fortitude of the group that's behind, because they were counting on getting into the game a little bit more, right? Maybe they get the first score. That doesn't happen. It looks almost insurmountable, but it's not. Let's see how hard they play the rest of the game.
Walsh now for the PAT. And the lead now to 3 touchdowns at 21 points. The kickoff team on the field now as they will send this one away. Fielded about a yard deep. And he's got some space here. And the Vikings are in for the touchdown. That's a score you felt they had to have here in the third quarter to get back in this game.
And you know that there's an emphasis on their side. Hey, we know this. We know where we are. But sometimes that binds you up so much that you try too hard and you don't get the score. A perfect combination of urgency, yet relaxed enough to get it done.
That'll be taken in the end zone. And he won't return this one. He'll go down to a knee, and they'll start at the 25. Seattle now ready to march onto the field. They have to be pleased with the way that they've moved the football thus far.
And why wouldn't they be? 2 touchdowns on a field goal in their first 3 possessions. They're playing so well right now, the field goal probably feels like a disappointment.
On first down, Wilson. Room here to run. And they're able to get this one across the 35. Nothing open downfield. He keeps it himself for 11 and a first down.
Partner, as a quarterback, sometimes you just got to know when the clock has gone off in your head, it's time to go. Tuck it and get all you can.
A toss play. This is Lynch. Oh, he's got a little daylight. And he'll be brought down just shy of the 45. Just what you want on a first down run. Call it 8 yards. And it's 2nd and 2.
In my book, that's running the ball well, but with intelligence. How about him keeping the clock moving, staying in bounds?
Yeah, even though it's the third quarter, you're thinking ahead, aren't you? This is where your running game can really help you with a lead in the second half.
I agree totally. It's not just end-of-the-half situations that you worry about the clock. It's throughout the game. And with a lead, stay in bounds. Make them fight harder to try and catch you.
7 yards there, good enough to move the sticks.
Sometimes with the running game, you've just got to stick with it. Look, it's the third quarter, no time to panic. But that also doesn't mean you just do it the same way you've been doing it the entire ball game. Maybe change up some blocking assignments or run a few different plays, but stay with the overall essence of the running game.
And a new set of downs here after picking up the first on the ground. Now we've got whistles and movement up front. I think this is against Seattle.
False start, offense.
That's going to set him back 5 yards. Now they'll throw it with Wilson. He's going to air this out for Baldwin. This is caught inside the 15. And we return, welcoming you back to Minneapolis. And now the offense operates in the red zone. Handoff comes to Lynch. And a pickup of about 4 down inside the 10 to the 8-yard line. Able to stay in bounds, so the clock keeps rolling. This defense right now backed up in the red zone. Another touchdown, it's over. They've got to stand tall quickly.
Been in this spot before. Now there's a little bit of desperation creeping in. And all you're doing when you're talking to your defensive teammates is first guy there, hold him up. Second, third guy in, rake at the football. Get it out. We've got to create a turnover because one more score, and this game's over.
Second down, Lynch. Oh, he bowls over it. And he will not be denied. Into the end zone. Touchdown, Seahawks. Marshawn Lynch. Touchdown number 18 on the year. And the Seahawks find a way to stretch their lead. And on his way to the end zone, shedding the tackle, he would not be denied.
That's what's called finishing the run. Making sure you power your way through. One-on-one tackle. No running back wants to go to the bench and say, I got stopped just short.
Extra point try now for Walsh. And he's been a busy man, 5 for 5 now as he knocks another one through to extend the lead. Out is the kickoff unit as they run up and send this one away. Fielded about a yard deep. And all that work, but he stopped where he ultimately would have been, and he's simply taken a knee, and that's the 25-yard line. The Vikings offense making their way back out. Now let's give you a look at the playoff picture coming into the weekend in the NFC. And with the final fortnight of games upon us, teams jockeying for position. Some of these games really starting to take enormous importance as they always do this time of year.
I like how you use fortnight.
I'm impressed.
Yeah, I am impressed. That means 2 weeks if I'm not mistaken, correct?
That does.
But how about exactly what you're talking about? Going down the stretch, how much importance is placed on these games. Look, everyone talks about every game's important. When you get to this time of year, maybe that importance gets quadrupled. And that's where we are right now to see who can make their last run, their last push to get into the playoffs.
Here's Bradford. And that is caught on the right sideline, but out of bounds, says the line judge. The throw took him a little too far. It's second down.
The effort's always going to be there. Everyone's always going to try and make a catch, but underthrown balls, I think, are the toughest ones to come back and get because usually your momentum's going in the opposite direction when you're trying to stop, break, and come back and get it.
False start, offense.
Expect this from the visiting team when playing indoors, but not the home team.
They're supposed to get all the advantages, right? The home crowd's supposed to help them. They forgot where they were, perhaps.
Now Bradford on second down. To the sideline, and that is a heck of a catch as he was able to get both feet in. Give him 7 on the play, and that'll bring up a 3rd down. Those short little routes probably going to be open. The defense, they'll let those happen, especially when they can make an inbounds tackle.
Yeah, where's Coach Madden when you need him? He always talked about taking what the defense gives you, but sometimes you have to know when you have to take more. That was one of those situations.
Now they go screen. It's complete. So a good spin move there before he's taken down. A nice little gain. The screen good for 6, but it's not enough as it leads to a 4th down. You got the big lead defensively. Willing to give him that underneath stuff, right?
And this is why you work on your tackling. Tackle them after the catch, inbounds, keep the clock running. Just go ahead and bleed the game out that way.
They'll run for it. Cook, and he won't get there. They stop him a few yards short of the line to gain. Dalvin Cook turned away on 4th down, and it'll be a turnover on downs.
Partner, when you see a running play stop short like that, you just know that the defensive front, they won the battle of leverage and created a push back into the opposing backfield.
And for the offensive coordinator, whether you had 1 yard to go or 20 yards to go on 4th down, now you're probably saying, oh, maybe I should have passed it, right?
Yeah, hindsight is always 20/20. Do my eyes deceive me, or is he getting stronger as this game moves along?
Burst seems just as good here in the 4th as it was way back in the 1st, doesn't it?
I do believe someone put a lot of time in the offseason and continues to condition during the season in order to continue to carry the ball at this rate.
Looking to jam the receivers at the line here. Press coverage look defensively. They run again on 1st down. Lynch trying to find a lane, but instead he'll get back to the line of scrimmage and no more. So it's Seahawk football as we march toward a conclusion. And the scoreboard on their side, they're just looking to melt away these final couple of minutes and put this one in the left-hand column. And again, the run defense stout this time. He maybe gets back to the line of scrimmage, but no more. They're trying to establish that running game, but they're really having trouble, aren't they?
Yeah, when you're running against a really good 4-3 defense, that means you've got big guys inside who control things. Those big defensive tackles are making it very difficult to find open space.
On 3rd down, Wilson. And he's got Lockett. Wilson to Lockett there for the Seahawk 1st down.
Well, that's what you're looking for when you want to throw the ball downfield. You want one of those guys who can play out on the perimeter, can play out wide, who can not only get open, but when they're covered, can uncover themselves downfield and create catches.
Here's a give to Lynch, and he is swallowed up right at the line of scrimmage. No gain on the play there, 2nd down. So nothing there. I don't know that that's all in the back, though. You got to look at blocking there, don't you?
I would agree with that totally. At some point, they have to win at the point of attack. Instead, it was the defense getting it done again and holding them to no gain.
Getting the call, Lynch running left. A big hit. Knocked out sideways at the 19. It's a 4-yard pickup there, and it leaves them with 3rd and 5.
They're in a pretty good spot right now with a convincing lead. I think this is where they put on the boxing gloves, start to try and pound them into submission.
And the offensive line, they've controlled this game. I don't see why that trend would change now. On 3rd down, they go Lynch. So he fought off the tackle, and that effort gives him the 1st before he's brought down. It'll go as a gain of 6 that time, and it moves the chains as well. Oh, now look at this. They're lining up to add 3 more. A little insult to injury here late in the game. A lot of scoring. There's no doubt about that in this one, Charles. Points, they were not at a premium. They were pretty easy to come by.
They were, but it was fun, wasn't it? Because both teams finding ways to click. And you know people who love this game, they also love baseball games that are 14-11 with 3 or 4 home runs mixed in.
So for the Seahawks, they're now a win away from a perfect regular season as they move to 15-0. And they'll get another road test next week as they have to go to Santa Clara to take on the 49ers. Meanwhile, for the Vikings, the slide continues as they drop now to 3-12. And they'll look to get back on track next week as they travel up to Detroit to take on the Lions. So that'll do it for us. For my partner.